Hello and welcome to Eden Live, where I am reading all of Eden by FREI live on YouTube and on Facebook. And as you know, these video clips then also find themselves as recorded clips on Instagram, on IGTV. Although they're slightly shorter, simply because on IGTV I finished the recording directly after the reading itself, and all the chat after it is edited away from it. Whereas on YouTube and on Facebook, it's still there. And in fact, during that bit last week, I made a mistake. I claimed that there would only be 2 more chapters in Volume 1. Volume 1 of Eden by FREI is called Dimensions, and I said there were only 2 more chapters to do. That's absolutely not true. I forgot one. Luckily, though, we're not going to miss it because I haven't forgotten it in the run up to here. It's chapter 10, Choices. And it so happens that this is actually maybe one of the most important chapters of the whole series to understand what's going on. So I think we better read it. So this is chapter 10 from Volume 1 of Eden by FREI, and it's called Choices. He wanders over, languid, slow, and sits down at my table at a right angle from me, with a tentative smile. It's most familiar, this almost smile, this nearly a smile but not quite, with an almost glint in his eye, but also a question. He is frank, but not so frank as to be forward. His mind is open, just as mine was when I was him, but also naturally cautious. I don't remember this scene, this encounter from my youth at all, which makes me think that maybe this is a complete stranger and I'm projecting onto him my own invention of a version of my youth. And seeing that I've lost my grip on continuity and the concordance of time and space, with no possible explanation for how it is that I'm in Istanbul, none of this would surprise me. Hello. He looks at me as if he registered something from his own future or his own past, though that too may well just be in my mind. But he doesn't recognize me, I'm glad. It was brazen of me to ask him over. I could ruin everything. What, though, is everything? I'm George. I want to say, I know, but that would be certain to confuse him. Good to meet you, George. My name is Sebastian. He gives me another frank look, with an almost smile that this time round might just tip over into a grin, a benign one. But it doesn't. Instead, his face settles into a look that says, "You interest me, and that alone is worth something. Go on then." I'm in. I don't know what I'm in or in for, but I can tell from his unjaded eyes that he likes the curiosity of this situation. He likes curiosity, and he's not scared. He never was scared, I think, as I watch him look up at Ahmed, who returns with our mojitos. He likes Ahmed, he finds him attractive. Can you blame him? Ahmed thinks nothing of it and smiles at us both, in almost equal measure, though I sense a nod more towards me than my younger self, George, but maybe I flatter myself thinking so, and also I know what I was like then. I was incapable of flirtation. Nowadays I gender. How to proceed? Am I going to tell George, "Look at me, I am what will become of you"? That would be insane and horrendously cruel, surely. What if he doesn't want to look himself to be in the eye at this particular juncture, right here? And now, without warning, to think about it. What if he had a mojito and with an oddly familiar-seeming stranger twice his age, and maybe hears something about the world told him? Nor, clearly, am I going to tell George my life story, the 20 or so that will constitute the distance between him and me. That would be simply unfair and take forever. So what am I going to tell him? Ask him? Want of him? For a brief but potentially panic-inducing moment, it occurs to me that if we were to get on so well as to decide, maybe after a few cocktails or so, to go for a walk, and then maybe dinner, and then his hotel, seeing that I haven't got one, I could end up quite conceivably in an intimate encounter with myself in the most unorthodox way. That would be taking things way too far, I decide, and resolve to not let it come to this under any circumstances. This one mojito, that's it. What are our circumstances? I continue to wonder. He raises his glass and offers me cheers. I let that thought go and return the compliment. The mojito, much as the Bloody Mary had been, is near perfect, with an appreciable kick to it, and I further resolve not to resolve anything for the time being, and instead allow myself simply to be there, in that moment, and see what next might unfold. And if you've been watching Eden live with me reading Eden by FREI, you can imagine that what next will unfold is not a straightforward story in any sense of the word. Seeing not least the fact that we are now at the end of chapter 10 of 12 chapters in volume 1 of 12 volumes, which are all of about on average the same length, or a similar length at least. There are some slightly thicker volumes, some slightly thinner ones, but overall this is approximately what they're like. In terms of content, they're all very different, or some are certainly very different to this. The next one, Heart, which therefore will begin not in 1 or 2 weeks, but in 3 weeks, is still quite similar, but then after that we're into the Snowflake Collector, and after that we're into the Ice King, and after that we're into the Planet Walk, and they are all really quite different. And then there's much else to look forward to, and so I hope that you are looking forward to this nearly as much as I am, and enjoying this even if you only enjoyed half as much as I'm enjoying reading these, then that's already something gained. And I thank you very much for being with me today, as always. And as always, I can only reiterate that these videos obviously stay online, and you can find everything there is to know about Eden by FREI on the website, edenbyfrei.net. And I may have to come to a close now, not only because it's really time to do so, but also I'm getting a little flagged up warning from my computer saying that it might shut down in a moment because it's too hot. And this is just the top temperature. I'm not doing anything with it other than web streaming this. But obviously, it's also suffering from the heat wave. I hope you're not suffering. I hope you're enjoying it. And I will see you again next time. Take good care, love and let love, and see you very soon.